every year is different. I think people really, that's why they connect with wine. You're getting some personality that's reflective of a time past, and that you captured that and you can enjoy it through the ages.
We've always had access to good grapes, the best that Napa Valley has to offer. And if you start with that, then the rest of it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's all about the raw material. We're just trying to kind of guide it into the bottle. Provenance Vineyards is located in Rutherford, and we focus on wines from Rutherford. So our Sauvignon Blanc and our Cabernet are both Rutherford appellation wines. We're trying to capture the essence of the place where the grapes are grown. The entire winemaking process is designed to try to focus on that. Provenance's first vintage was in 1999, and we made 1,500 cases. The brand didn't even have a name. Provenance Vineyards hadn't even been thought of when we crushed our first grapes. Provenance has two meanings, a geological and an art meaning. From the art side, it's tracing back the lineage of a piece of art to the artist, and from the geological sense, it's tracing back where did a piece of dirt come from. Did it come from the middle of the Pacific Ocean at some point? It's a really great name because it blends the two important things, the dirt, where the grapes are being grown, as well as the influence of the people in terms of crafting unique and special wines. Our winemaking philosophy combines the latest technology while still being true to some of the techniques that have been honed over centuries of winemaking. While we've consistently received some great scores from the world's leading wine critics, the focus of Provenance Vineyards is not to produce wine for scores. It's to be true to our vision and our stylistic goals. My happiest day is every day because I'm not sitting in a cubicle. Truly, that's what makes me happiest. Provenance Vineyards gets grapes from many different appellations within the Napa Valley, from the southern portion of Napa, the Carneros district, as well as the Oak Knoll appellation. Coming up valley, we do get a few grapes out of Oakville. Our primary source of grapes is Rutherford. We also get a few grapes from up in the Calistoga area, which is in the far north, definitely the hottest part of the valley. For our Napa Valley Merlot, we get some grapes from the Carneros district of Napa Valley. Carneros is very cool. It sits right on the San Pablo Bay, and traditionally has been known for Pinot and Chardonnay. However, the Merlots grown there have a very distinct, unique character because of the cool climate, and remind me a lot of some of the classic Merlots coming out of Bordeaux. Oak Knoll is located just north of the town of Napa. It's a little bit warmer than the Carneros area. It adds a little bit of fleshiness to our Napa Valley Merlot and a little bit more fruit. And it blends really well with the fruit we're getting from Carneros to create a really complex, interesting Merlot. Beckstoffer's To Kalon Vineyard is located in Oakville. To Kalon sits on the Oakville Bench, right off of Highway 29. In 2002, we started producing a single vineyard wine from this vineyard. Beckstoffer's George III Vineyard is a vineyard that we've been working with since the inception of the Provenance brand. It's on the east side of Rutherford. Its trellis system is what I call, or a lot of people call, California sprawl. It produces some really nice wines. What's really interesting about making wine is that each vineyard has its own personality. That personality is a combination of the soil, the trellis system, the grape variety, the rootstock, and sometimes the history of the vineyard. Once these grapes are picked, you can't change your mind and put them back on the vine. So trying to pick them at the optimal moment is a really big decision. You know, is that vineyard truly ready or is it not? There's just a little bit of color in the juice as you squeeze it out of the berry. That wasn't there last week. It was clear. And what that means is that the skins are now ripe, and that's a good sign that the grapes are ready to pick. So what we're doing now is we're going through and they're selecting the best clusters, and any clusters that aren't good, they're too dry, or they aren't ripe yet, we're leaving them on the vine. You have to wait about 2.5 years from today before the wine is ready. Definitely ripe and definitely ready. Right now we're on the crush pad. We receive in the grapes into this hopper here. It gently moves the grapes onto the cluster sorting table. So what's important about this table is not only are we removing the leaves by hand up here or any bad clusters, it also automatically is taking out a bunch of the stuff that would be impossible to sort out by hand. Small shot berries, insects, dirt, all those things are going to get vibrated out and come out through the slots and get captured here. We're gently moving the fruit here, elevating it to the destemmer, which only destems. So all this equipment is basically designed to take out anything that's not a grape berry. You can see what is not going into the fermenter. It's all this stuff that doesn't taste very good and it's not adding anything to the wine. It gets 3 hand sortings and 1 machine sorting in the whole process. Normally this is done on wines that are $75, $80, $100 or more. We do it with our entire red wine production. We're now in Provenance's tank room. This is where all the fermentation happens. We bring the red grapes, we put them in the tanks, and that's where we ferment it, and away we go. So what we're seeing right here is a pump over. We take the juice from the bottom of a fermenter, bring it up to the top, and sprinkle it over the grapes that are being floated by the CO2. All of the color and a lot of the flavor are contained in those skins, and if they're floating above the liquid, they're not going to get extracted and get into the wine. And we do this anywhere from 2 to 4 times every day during the fermentation.
Trevor, Chris, and myself are the team.
Tom Rinaldi, formerly of Duckhorn Vineyards, came over to Provenance to start the brand. Tom Rinaldi and I have been working together since 2003 when he hired me on as the assistant winemaker at Provenance. Just a great sense of humor.
Chris Cooney is our winemaker, very talented young man and the future of our brand.
Cools it right now. Zesty.
Trevor Durling is a graduate from UC Davis. He's been with us a little more than a year, but I like to say he's in the fast track.
Yeah, well, I've obviously heard of him.
Are you feeling intimidated?
No, not really.
No, he can take it. He can take a punch, believe me. Trevor, Chris, they're on board because of their enormous talent and because of their education. They're much more recent graduates. They're much more in tune to the modern technology and all we've learned to date. So it's very important for an old guy like me to listen to the youngsters and cherish their opinions.
With Tom, he's been a wonderful mentor and someone that's been really great to work with.
Every day's a blast working with these guys.
Let's go get a beer.
All right.
Sounds great.
Let's have a stout.
These grapes will go into our Rutherford Cabernet Sauvignon. The dust is what makes Rutherford Rutherford. It comes across to me as a textural thing, almost like having cocoa powder in your mouth. You can taste 10 wines from Rutherford and they'll all have that signature kind of dusty, cocoa powdery texture. We've never blended any Cabernet Franc or anything else into our Napa Valley Merlot. Something that's very unique because most Merlots have as much Cabernet as the winery can sneak into them. The Provenance Rutherford Sauvignon Blanc is a blend of our estate grapes as well as other vineyards that we're sourcing from Rutherford. Rutherford is a warm place. We're trying to capture that warmer climate. I'll have a glass. So the flavors in the Sauvignon Blanc are going to be riper flavors, melon, ripe peaches. It's going to be a little bit fuller, riper style of Sauvignon Blanc than you would find in other appellations. The Toquelin Vineyard is in Oakville. In 2002, we started producing a single vineyard wine. We blend together 5 different blocks out at Toquelin. We have a little bit more cherry, berry type fruits, and we don't have that kind of mocha finish to the wines.
Every year is unique. Every vintage is unique.
Every year is different. You're faced with new challenges.
When it works, it works. It's a song. It's good.
Oh, almost forgot the bottle.